Today we have with us Mr. Håkon Fottland, who works in the international office, and two Mexican students that will share with us their experience is Lilia Tovar y Alejandro. Alejandro is currently doing his PhD, and Ana Lilia is studying a master in biotechnology. Well, first of all, we are going to leave the floor to Mr. Fottland to talk about Norway and a little bit about the university, and then we proceed with the students, all right? The floor is yours.
Fine, thank you very much. Then I will try to share my screen, and that should be this one. And share. And then we go here. Here. Excellent. I think you can see now.
Yes.
Okay, my name is Håkon Fottland, and I'm working at UiT, the Arctic University of Norway, at the International Cooperation section. You might be familiar with both Norway and Arctic, being close to the pole, and we might proceed to have a little look at where we are. If I'm not you can see that Norway is this country up here. And here are a very important thing coming here called the Gulf Stream, and it's coming from the Gulf of Mexico. And it brings a lot of warm water all the way up here to Norway. And we are so happy for all this, because we have no ice and fairly mild winters due to this warm gift from Mexico coming all the way constantly. Norway is a small country here. This way of drawing the map is very unfair to countries close to equator. But Mexico is about 6 times bigger than Norway. Norway is here, capital is Oslo, and we have this island called Spitsbergen or Svalbard up here. We have 5.3 million inhabitants. Monarchy, so we don't have all this fuss about electing a president. We have our own language. We come back to the oil and natural gas and fish, and then we go to some dry figures, because you are in maybe in that part of studies that you like figures. Welfare state. These figures are in billion Norwegian kroner, and this is the total public expenditure, and if you multiply this by 2.3, you get Mexican peso. Nearly 2,000 billion is the total public expenditure in 2020, and you can see that more than half of it is in pensions and health. Social services, pensions and health. That's the welfare services. You can see that business and commerce and expenditure, education is down here. Our university has 4 out of this 201 billions, and then defense and police and environment down here. Okay, next, more figures. Key commodities. We are exporting crude oil and natural gas. That's the biggest earners. Then we export fish, some metals and machinery. What we import, that's cars and lorries, cost most. Machinery, cell phones, ore. We import a lot of ore because we have a lot of hydroelectric power, and we can have these smelters running on renewable energy. Okay, one more slide with figures. Workforce. and gross product. You can see that healthcare is the biggest employer, health and care. This is also the welfare services. More than 575,000 people, that's more than 10% of all, work in health and care. Trade and retail industry, you can see that the biggest earner, oil and gas, only have 57,000 people working, but it is the biggest earner. Okay. Then we turn a little to our university, the Arctic University of Norway, and here you can see a map of our campuses in North Norway, and we have one in Svalbard. The squares are the main campuses. The dots are smaller places where studies are offered. We are sitting in Tromsø, that is here. We have 16,500 students, 3,500 full-time employees, 6 faculties, and we were established in 1968. Of course, you in Guadalajara are at a quite different size and age and everything, but still, I think we can talk in a nice manner. Okay. I should say we have quite a lot of international students coming. We also have a lot of international staff. We have a strategy, as you see here. We have 5 main areas: energy and climate, health and welfare, community development and democratization, sustainable use and management of resources, and technology. This is very small writing, and of course, I sent some folders that may explain this in some better. But here you have some bright pictures, so I thought I should show you a little about what it looks like these days. So I picked a day this week. This is Monday, the 10th of May. And now I need to... This is a camera at our university in Tromsø, and it takes a picture. So this is a time-lapse video of one day in half a minute. I think we can spend that. And it starts on midnight on the 10th of May. Oh. There. And the camera is facing south, so the sun will be in south at noon. A bit wet in the morning. We still got snow. It's not gone yet. There, that was midnight, early on the 11th of May, just this week. This is how it looks like. Physical. These are our faculties. I think that the most was this one. Economics are here in this faculty, together with fisheries and biosciences, biology, that is. We also have some relevant courses and studies in this next faculty of humanities, social sciences and education. The tourism studies are here in this faculty. Faculty of Humanities, Social Science and Education is one of the bigger. The other big faculty is the Health Sciences. Then we have Engineering, and science and technology, and then science and technology. That sounds a bit equal, but in this later you find all the physics and the chemistry and geosciences. Faculty of Law, and we also have a small Academy of Fine Arts. You shouldn't, this is dry text. I thought I just should put up the various research centers that we are harboring, that we have at our university. Most of them are in the sciences, but they also include a lot of social science and other disciplines in their work. I'm not going to read all of them. You can have a look. I can mention that this thrombosis research center has been working very hard lately on this AstraZeneca side effects, and was quite key in the news about that. Thrombosis, that has to do with this blood clots. Also, we have a Center for the Order Sea, and yeah, I think I leave that there. Then, more for the students, there is a study catalog, which is on the web. We have, as you can see here, there are 37 study programs in English. English bachelor's, master's, and one-year students. This is the link. You can find degree, campus, area of interest, and you may look around if there are something of interest. Also, we have another page for students and student exchange. Currently, we are not allowing students outside Europe for single courses, but for study programs and exchange, then it is okay. That has for some visa. There is a lot of work on the visa issues. Then I thought I did send some folders or links to Anna Cecilia, and these are 3 of them, and I think you might find some more information there. So then I should just say many thanks. And
thank you. Yeah, I will definitely paste the links to the folders in the video so students can have access to that. Well, now that we've seen the official and institutional presentation of Tromsø University, we can give floor to Lilia Tovar so she can share with us her experience as a student over there. Anna?
Yeah, sure. Let me present. Okay, well, here I created a presentation about my life and the study in the University of Tromsø. I did it in Spanish, but I will speak in English. First, how is Norway? Well, for me, Norway is a country with a lot of space. That was very surprising since I'm from Mexico City. So there is a lot of space, nature, the fjords, mountains, and nature. And all people I have met speak English, even in the supermarkets and everything. So it's very easy to go to talk to people and to get to know more persons. There is a lot of security. I have never felt not secure in a place. So that's great. And it has the midnight sun and the polar night. Yeah, so that's kind of hard to get used to. But once you can, then you can enjoy both parts. And it's also a very international country. At least in the city of Tromsø, I read that there is at least 100 nationalities living together. Here are some pictures. They are not from Tromsø, but it's from Norway. And I think they capture the beauty and the nature that Norway can offer. Then the transport in Norway, all the principal cities have an airport. So that's great. So you can connect between big cities. The buses also connect all the towns. For example, here in Tromsø, if you want to go south or north, you can take the bus and buy it like a regular bus ticket and just go everywhere. So that's very nice. Another very useful transport is the ferries. That was very new for me, but they are actually quite good. They are a little bit more expensive, but everything in the country is a little bit expensive. So, so the ticket is okay. And you can go to cities that are around. And there is also like a train. I have never taken this one, but I have heard of this train that connects Norway with other countries in Scandinavia, particularly with Sweden. Typical traditional food. I was very surprised when I came here because here is very popular, the Taco Friday. It's not the taco as we know, of course. It's like in this picture that we have here. They put like meat and a lot of vegetables on the sides, and they eat it every Friday. So yeah, it's very popular. Vertical, I think Håkon can talk more about the traditional food, but I just have eaten the vertical that is traditional, I think, in winter time. I don't know if you want to say a little bit more about that, Håkon.
Well, the brown cheese is really a good specialty. It's sweet. That's a sweet. That's a Norwegian specialty. So Norwegian must have it regardless where they are. So they bring it in their luggage.
Yeah, it's very good. Also, it's very popular, the whale. I have never eaten that one, but some people I know that eat it and they say it's very good. And also reindeer. For activities, hiking, fishing, and of course, winter sports are very popular. And here in Tromsø, there are also some places where you can rent equipment for winter sports for free. So that's great because when I came here, I didn't have anything to do ski with. So I just went to the city center, rent my ski equipment, and just do the sport and return them for free. So that's great. There is also like reindeer farms. Sauna is also very popular. And there is also like cruises around the fjords that are great. And well, now about the university. The University of Tromsø is the northest university in the world, and it has, as he said, a lot of faculties. And 20% of the people that study or work are international. Actually, my thesis supervisor is also Mexican, and her boss is from the United States, so it's very international. And as I read, it counts with 160 research centers, and it has a different clubs that are completely free. You have like scuba diving, I don't know, like hiking, different clubs for everything you want. And sometimes they are free, sometimes they are not free, depending on the sport. Normally they are. And you can know people all around the world. And there are a lot of extracurricular activities every week. And also I forgot here to put that. The university also offers Norwegian lessons, so you can learn Norwegian. And they are also for free. And this is the campus of Tromsø. So I belong to the Faculty of Fisheries, that is this one. Yeah. And as I said, he also said, there are a lot of research groups in the university, and here I put the link so you can find more information. As I said, I belong to the Biosciences, Fisheries, and Economics faculty, that is this one. And I'm actually in this research group that is called Mtro, that is specialized in multi-omics, ecology, cultivation of biology. And we study microalgae, microbiomes, and other stuff. And the leader of the group is Hans Christopher Bernstein. He's from the United States. And this group is actually very great. Almost everyone is international, and we get along amazing. So yeah, definitely recommend going to Tromsø. And that's all of my presentation. Thanks.
Excellent. Thanks a lot, Ana. Well, last but not least, we will have Alejandro talking about his experience. He is also a graduate from Universidad de Guadalajara, who is now pursuing his PhD over there. So you have the floor, Alejandro.
Yes. Well, after these two presentations, I mean, they're fantastic. I think there's not much to add. I was wondering if I should focus on sort of like personal experiences, and I was also interested to know like the target audience of this webinar, like if it's more like exchange students or people that are considering coming for a PhD. Maybe I can emphasize, I mean, the little I know, since I just started my position in May. But I wonder which way should I go? What would you say?
Well, the video, this webinar, is being transmitted in the Facebook page of CUCEA. So it can be seen by academics, researchers, students who want to pursue something else apart from traditional mobility. Mm-hmm. So you can go anywhere. Yes, it's all good.
Yeah, yeah. Because I think Ana touched on several aspects that are very even shocking, I mean, or surprising for a Mexican, of course, especially coming from Guadalajara or Mexico City. I think she's right in highlighting the safety, the peace we have. I mean, it goes without saying that the nature, it's amazing here. And of course, Ana was mentioning the midnight sun and the fact that there's no night, which is, for us, is very strange. Because in Mexico it's very stable, but we also have 2 months of absolute darkness, and you have to be ready for that, right? So it depends on many factors. Of course, I arrived here after 9 years in Denmark, so I was kind of used to the north, and I thought it was north enough, but you can always go and top it up. And I have to say that the winter here is even easier than say in a lower latitude, and it has to do with the snow and the fact that people have this strange relation to the winter. Some people really like the winter. So as a student or exchange, or if you're here for a short term, it might be a bit shocking at the beginning, but it's a very interesting experience. And I also mentioned the facility that there is for everyone to, for example, loan some equipment in the municipality. You can get bikes, skis, but there's also like a youth center where you can get even a camera or video camera, and it's all for free. I mean, you know the prices are very high, and especially for Mexicans, I think the currency is very disadvantageous, and even for Europeans, it's a very expensive country, and that is something to take into account. There are few places. I mean, it's a smaller place compared to Guadalajara, for example. So the options are limited in that sense, but you often forget that you are in this latitude. I mean, it's a functional city. It has everything. It has a museum, an excellent movie theater with the classical movies. They also have the commercial movie theaters, but there's plenty to do, surprisingly. There's an international movie festival. A thing that is very surprising is also the amount of international people, which was mentioned before. But it's not only the university, but many people that work with the tourist industry. You meet people from all over the place. It gives the city a very special flavor. Anna already mentioned the culinary aspects. There are many dishes that are a bit like surprising. And yeah, we might mention some cultural differences. For example, the fact that the lunch is around 12 and everybody goes at the same time. And it's usually, it can be cold. And so it's not uncommon to see bread and a lot of a kind of a mackerel or, I don't know, other things. It might be a bit also shocking for a Mexican used to, warm food all the time and cheap and available. But another thing is also the first time one comes to Norway, it can be horrifying. The prices are really expensive, especially alcohol and things in the supermarket. If one wants a tomato or, things even as an item, you make the conversion and you're always shocked. After a while, you get used to that as well. But I would definitely recommend the place. It's an excellent institution. Research it has a lot of resources. People are very open, and I would also highlight personally, I think people are extremely generous and kind, and it's very easy to feel welcome, especially university. There's also a community, international community that also goes without saying. There's a lot of students from many countries. But there's this, I would define as a relaxed approach to everything. And university is not the exception. It's also a very relaxed working culture, but it's relaxed without being how do you say, on the excess of not doing things. It's very effective, but yet relaxed. As every Scandinavian country, it's a very democratic culture. It's not hierarchical. It's very equal, and there's a lot of respect for each other. It's wonderful, especially coming from Mexico, where differences are so stark sometimes. And I also would dare to say that this safety and this sense of trust that everyone, like Norwegians, have toward one another, I think it's easily extended to foreigners as well. So I think it's a habit. So nobody's like expecting anything bad, and especially here, I think everybody feels safe. And little by little, one comes from Mexico, and you're always on your toes. But I think you get used to this kind of really peaceful and I would say it's a very enjoyable thing. So no matter what, you're always safe. And Anna mentioned the English. I mean, you can really function with English very, very well. It could be also interesting to learn Norwegian. I mean, for a longer stay, it's a beautiful language. Maybe for a Spanish speaker, it's a little bit a challenge with all these strange sounds, but it's very close to English in some respects. So yeah, it could work. And I wish I knew more about administrative sciences. And I mean, Håkon already mentioned some numbers, but of course, I think there are many possibilities, and it's a country that offers a good environment, especially for education. I mean, in the numbers that we saw with Håkon, the expenditure in education is probably one of the highest in the world. So they know what they're doing. They try to do it the best they can. There's a lot of research in education. There's a lot of interest in integrating everyone. And also at that level, it's a very good experience to see how it works as a whole. And I think education is one of the cornerstones of the system. So there's this wonderful welfare state. And I think the education, you can really see it. So I would really encourage anyone to really try coming here and see it. I mean, it's a wonderful experience. I don't know if there's any specific question, I'm happy to.
Well, I'm watching just what people publish on Facebook, but they are just saying hi, and there's a Norwegian flag. I don't see many questions, but I think you have covered the most important things. Like when you go on exchange or to study abroad, you need to get used to the culture, and language is always important. So it's good when you can go through and make a life, even though you don't speak perfectly the language. And yeah, I think it's also important to know about the academic traditions. Like we are used, for example, to call Liz here, and you have to say present when the professor is there. And maybe in Norway, that's not common. That's what you mean when you say it's really relaxed. There are some things that are not the same over there. But yeah, you still have like to accomplish certain standards, right? So I think that's very interesting. And one thing I know about Norway is that there are Sami people. So I don't know if any of you want to talk a little bit about that, because I think people in Guadalajara don't know much about Sami people. And I know that you have even a center for Sami studies. So if any of you want to talk a little bit about that, that would be interesting. Otherwise, that will be
it. I can volunteer if you...
Yeah, better.
all right.
Yeah, I think I should, if I just a comment on the winter, I think I should just switch my background to the winter. We Norwegians, we call the winter as the color time rather than the dark time, because we get all these splendid colors all the time on the sky. So we look very much forward, and then we have the snow, and it is not so dark after all. So basically, we are quite happy, and it's not so dark. I know some manage it, and some don't manage it. So that's how it is. You just have to see. Coming now, we are into the midnight sun, and some can't sleep with lights at night, so then they need to use black plastic bags to cover up all the windows and spend a lot of time on that side. So, okay, some manage, some don't. I think part of the culture here in the northern Norway also comes from this coastal and a bit far away experience. So people living here, they are kind of in need of friends, should we say, if something happens. So then we need friends in case we come in trouble on the sea or on the ocean, then we need to be aware. Language, the Norwegian language, is actually most equal to Dutch, something between English and German. So that's where it comes from. Most of our study programs are, of course, offered in Norwegian. And it is a bit cumbersome to spend a year learning Norwegian before you can start studying. We can see, but we do have some English study programs. Excuse me. There is, what should I say? One more thing. Foreigners often complain about Norwegians that we are too good at English, so that they cannot experience Norwegians. I mean, we so easily flip into English that whoever guest would like to practice some Norwegian don't get the opportunity. So we are a bit too eager there. Okay, Sami people. Sami people is reindeer herders. They are pastoralists. They live in North Norway, North Sweden, North Finland, and into Russia. They are not so many. They are some 60,000-70,000. It is kind of this reindeer herding that has made the identity mark of this group. There is a lot of Sami people that are not reindeer herders. They are sea Sami. They work traditionally with fishing, and there is of course a lot of Sami people at the university and students. And that is an important task for our university to also promote and take care of this relations. Should I say, there has been a lot of political attention to the Sami, and from after the Second World War and onwards, particularly 60s, 70s, maybe into the 70s, there was a very strong political drive to make everybody Norwegian. So that in the schools to speak Sami in the primary schools, that was not allowed at times, and you couldn't sing the traditional joik, the Sami traditional singing. That was not allowed in the schools. But then came we, by the end of the 1970s, to a hydroelectric power development in Finnmark, a bit east from Tromsø, and there that was kind of an identity shift for the Sami people, and thereafter there was a lot of hunger strikes in front of the parliament, and there was chain gangs and civil disobedience and a lot of action going on. And it actually resulted somehow in the establishment of a separate Sami parliament. And so they have separate elections, and they take care of certain Sami questions in this Sami parliament. I think there is Sami all over North Norway, and they go quite far south, and they speak different languages. There is a North Sami, and there are 2 or 3 other Sami languages. Mostly they understand each other, but they are actually distinct languages in Norway, down to south of Trondheim, actually. I think, was that okay?
Yeah, that's excellent. Thanks. All right. Well, now, do you want to share the video with us?
I can do that if, I don't know if Anna or Alvaro has some more. I don't know. There is a promotional video from our campus in Narvik. We have been talking a lot about Tromsø, so we have a promotional video from our campus in Narvik, which they made quite nice. So I can show that now if you would like. It takes 3 minutes. Shall I do that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, then let's go ahead with that. And I share screen, share sound. That's this one. Click, share. And
Visste du at på UT Narvik så kan du kjøre ski rett inn på skolen? Bare sjekk her.
Hei sann, mitt navn Kaja. Jeg 26 år gammel og tar
industriell teknologi her på UT i Narvik. Kom nå, så skal jeg vise litt av min hverdag. På UT så har vi et fantastisk bibliotek, og nå skal jeg vise dere min favorittplass. Det er ganske greit å kunne lese den utsikten her. Midt på campus så har vi en fantastisk flott klatrer. Studiehverdagen her på UT, den er kjempebra. Både når det kommer til det sosiale og alt som skjer her på campus, men også når det kommer til den faglige biten og de utrolig dyktige foreleserne som er her. Vi har tilgang til flere labber med helt fantastisk bra utstyr, og forelesere som er utrolig dyktige og som alltid ønsker å hjelpe oss. En av de store fordelene med å studere i Narvik, det er nærheten til alt. Med en sånn nærhet, både til natur og byliv, så gir det utrolig mange muligheter. Uansett hva du liker, så har byen noe for deg. Du vet vel hva du skal gjøre nå? Søk ut til Narvik.
Excellent. Great sceneries and a great university campus. It makes me want to go there. All right. Well, anyone would like to add something else?
So perhaps thinking about the winter, and now that I see the video and refreshed a little bit, of course, the detail that to live in Norway, and this you will hear from every Norwegian person, you need to get the right things for every occasion. So as an example, of course, is the clothes. It's fantastic wool products you get worn, and it really helps. But it's just an example, for example, to be able to be comfortable with this weather that can change so much. You probably need to spend a bit of money in a good jacket, in some kind of good underwear, even shoes with spikes, because you have ice, of course. So all these little things add up, and it's amazing that we can be in this latitude with these conditions, and everything works. So you are prepared, and everybody's prepared. And it also, perhaps the last thing I could mention is the way the streets and everything is clean. You know, there's sometimes many centimeters of snow, and next day you just see a beautiful path. Someone has cleaned the snow, and it goes every day. It's amazing, but you have to be prepared, and then if you do that, things are less shocking. Yeah, that's one thing. Yeah.
Also, I can speak a little bit about some holidays that they have here. That, for example, on Monday, I think it's the Independence Day or the National Day. So I haven't been here before in that specific day, but I have seen like the dresses, the traditional dresses that they wear, and they're amazing. So I don't know if the parade is going to happen this Monday, but yeah, so there is a lot of culture here as well that you can explore in the museums. And some people even wear the dresses sometimes at the university. I have seen sometimes. So yeah, there is a lot of holidays and cultures that they have here. And yeah, I think that's it.
Excellent. Because even today it's an festivity, right? It's the Ascension Day. So it's interesting to learn about the different cultures and all their celebrations. That's with something good. All right. Anyone would like to add something else? Anything that we're missing? No? Well, on behalf of University of Guadalajara and CUCEA, I would like to say thank you to you guys for sharing your experience with us. And it was great having you. And to all the audience, well, thanks for watching. And we invite you to broaden your horizons and explore new academic opportunities. So see you next. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.